So I'm going to mute you, but then I will check in with you after the warm up to make sure that we were able to, work through each of the exercises. Okay, so tribe core is definitely a core workout. However, it's a more integrated approach to core. So we'll have a lot of functional movement along with our core workout. This is the beginning of a new session, a new 3-week session. So if you took any of my classes before, that was an old 3-week session, and we filtered through a lot of the similar exercises. Now we have a whole new bank of exercises. So the workout is a warm-up, and then we have sort of the meat and potatoes, the workout part, and then there's a mobility section at the end, okay? So the warm-up is 6 exercises. Since they're all new, I mean, none of them are crazy. There's one that's like, what is that? That's a little bit different. There's only one like that. I'm going to demonstrate each exercise. I'm going to have you do them. Just make sure that you've got it in your body and it feels good. You find a version that works for you. And I'll go through each 6 of the exercises like that so that you have sort of a preview of the exercises. Then we'll get going with the warm-up of 30 seconds. Each exercise is no break between, 2 times through, okay? So the first exercise, and feel free to turn on your camera if you want me to be able to give you feedback, because I do come to the camera to look, but no pressure there if you don't want your camera on. Okay, so the first exercise, you can watch first. This is super simple. It's just a body weight squat. So you're gonna set up your feet wider than hip, maybe almost to your shoulder. You're gonna lead with your hips. Your hips are gonna go back like you're sitting in a chair, and then push through the heels to stand, okay? So those hips really push back. You're coming down as far as your range of motion works, but don't go past the knees, so we don't need to go all the way down here, okay? So just in line with the knees and then push back up, a little squeeze of the glutes. So go ahead and try that. If you need to rotate the toes out a little bit to find some comfort in the knees, you can do that. Really, this is just to warm up hips, knees. Pull in that belly, make sure your spine is nice and long as you squat up and down. So hopefully you're trying this since I can only see Holly, okay? So that's squat, all right? Next one, push-ups. Now push-ups happen to be very difficult for me because I have a shoulder issue, but let me just talk you through it. You've probably done some form of a push-up before. You're gonna start in a plank position. Your hands are gonna be about shoulder width, and then you're gonna pull the shoulders down the back, pull the belly in, and then bend through the elbow and bring the chest down and then back up. Now, if you need a little help in your push-up, here's one way. Drop down eccentrically, then let the knees come down to help you push back up, lift the knees come down, help you come up. Now, if that's still kind of hard, just keep the knees down, nice long line through the crown of the head to the knees. Shoulders pull down when you're doing your push-ups here from your knees. Okay, keep that belly pulled in. And so hopefully you guys found a version that'll work for you. The warm-up is 30 seconds of push-ups. Know that in a push-up, if you get tired, holding a plank position is really gonna help the shoulder stability and help prep you for push-ups again, okay? So that's the second exercise. The third one, you might need something under your knees. We're on a tabletop position. These are called, what do they call them? Prone raises, but you may know them as bird dogs. Okay, so all 4 position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Pull the belly in, shoulders down the back. Right leg extends long. Pulling the kneecap up the leg, keeping the hip square to the ground underneath you. Lift the left arm so that the bicep comes up to the ear, okay? And then back down, switch sides. So you're finding that full extension and then back down, okay? Lifting the arm, opposite leg, find that glute, find the belly, pull the shoulders in, and then release down. So it's an alternating right and left kind of motion. So those are prone raises or bird dogs, okay? During the workout, when we use that exercise, you can add small weights to your hands, okay? Next one is a bridge motion. It's a medicine ball bridge. This is the only one for the warm-up that you'll actually need a weight. I'm gonna actually take both of my 5-pounders and just put them together to create one sort of unit. So I'm gonna come down on my back, and my weight is gonna start overhead. And you can do this with no weight as well. Now with your bridge, I want you to scoop your hips up off the ground, and then your spine follows. So make sure you're getting that scooping of the hips, and then the one vertebrae at a time lifts, okay? So these are the med ball bridges. As your hips scoop up, your arms come down to the hips nice and slow. Find the top of your bridge, squeeze your glutes, pull your heels in, and then slowly reverse out of that with control. A lot of control here, right? Stabilizing muscles require control of movement. Scoop up, roll up, arms come up to the hips. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a couple sort of real time. Hopefully you're trying this with me, figuring out what weight works for you, finding that scooping up of the hips, finding that full bridge motion. Okay, so that's your med ball. We're not using a med ball, obviously, bridges. So we'll call those weighted bridges maybe. Last one, this is a movement preparation exercise. It's not meant to be fast. And you stay on your back, okay? They're called windscreen wipers. This program was is from New Zealand, so windshield is a windscreen. You're gonna open your arms to a T, palms up, extend your legs out long. You're gonna take your right foot and drive it up towards your left hand. Now, it doesn't matter if it touches, find your range of motion. This is really just getting the hips to roll and stack. Notice how my shoulders are on the ground, but my right hip pulls up. Back to center, switch sides. So my foot drives up. I don't care if it reaches the hand. It's really just that drive and rolling of the hips. So finding a little bit of a pace here, side to side. This is a nice stretch for the low back. Take your range of motion, slow at first. Okay, so these are windscreen wipers. It's our 6th exercise. We've gone through all 6 of them. So now it's time to put the warm up together, okay? 30 seconds each exercise. I'll do it with you so you'll kind of have an idea of what exercises, so you don't have to remember them. No break in between them. We're starting in 10 seconds with our squats, okay? So set your feet up. 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds of squats here. Pushing those hips back, keeping the belly in. I like to reach out forward. That kind of just counters the hip balance there. Really squeezing those glutes at the top, driving through the heels to come up to get those glutes. We're already halfway, over halfway. Our next one is push-ups. So we're gonna come down onto the ground, find our plank position, modifying however we need to. All right, here we go, down on the ground. Find your plank and push-ups. Remember, you can drop your knees as you come up off the ground, or you can leave your knees down, or see how many push-ups without knees you can do, and then modify. We're over halfway, we have 10 seconds. I'm gonna start dropping my knees. You can feel my shoulder. Finding that little rhythm of dropping knees to come up. And next one is, oh, dead bugs. All right, hands and knees. One leg lifts, opposite arm, find it, extend, and drop down. Switch sides. These are bird dogs. Try to keep your hips parallel to the ground. Really find that glute and hamstring. Keep the belly in. Don't overarch in the low back. Next one is med ball bridges. So coming down onto the ground, weight or no weight, getting right into it. Weight starts overhead, bridge. Arms come down to the body, lower back down. Remember, control. Scoop the hips up, squeeze at the top, lower back down with control. 5 seconds here, and then we have those windscreen wipers. All right, put the weight to the side, open the arms to a T, extend the legs, foot drives up and across towards the opposite side hand. Just getting those hips to roll Your leg can be bent. It's really just about stretching the low back. We're not trying to go fast here. In 5 seconds, we're back up on our feet for squats. All right, back up on your feet, making those transitions nice and quick. Find that squatting pattern right away. Hips drive back. Belly stays pulled in, especially at the lowest point of your squat. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Okay. I just realized I missed one of the exercises, and so I'll demo that afterwards because we do use it in the workout. Almost there. We've got push-ups next. Here we go. Push-ups. Remember, you can modify as needed. Do as many as you can without modifying. Keep those hips up. Don't let them sag. Keep the shoulders pulled down the back. No need to go fast. Find a pace. 10 seconds. And then we have med ball bridges. So we'll stay on the ground, turn to our back, grab a weight if we're using it. Here we go. On our back, get your weight if you're using it. Weight overhead, lift the hips. And really pull those heels towards the body as you lower. That'll help your body, your footprint stay nice and compact. Really making sure you're scooping up the hips. We're staying on the ground for our next one. Okay, weights off to the side, arms out to a T, palms up, reaching that foot up and across, just getting those hips to roll back and forth, side to side. Back and forth, 10 more seconds. Side to side, just getting that stretch of the hips and the low back. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay, so that's our warm up. The one I missed, I'm just gonna go over and have you try it. It's actually the one that's like a little bit kind of different, probably one that you've not done before. And it's called a lateral climber because you're going from side to side with your feet. So try it with me once you watch me do it. So I'm gonna start in a plank position. And I'm gonna bring my right knee across my body towards my right elbow. So it's kind of in between my knees, but towards my left elbow. And I'm gonna bring my left foot out to the side. So my arms are in plank position. I'm pulling them down the back, belly's pulled in, but my feet are kind of in this side position. Okay, I'm gonna pull the belly in and switch to the other side. You're kind of gliding from back and forth, side to side. Now, if this is too much, you do a step, step, extend. Step, step, extend. Notice how my hips stay low, okay? So try both of these on. Keep those shoulders down the back. Try not to round through the back here. Keep that spine long and see which one works for you. A lot of shoulder stability here. This is a good one. And it'll get your heart rate up too. Okay, that's our warm up. Just gonna unmute. Oh, I forget, I can't do that. It doesn't give me that option anymore. Anyway, if you need any help, you can unmute yourself and you can speak up. Otherwise, we're gonna get going with our workout. Okay. We have, so while we're in between here, grab a drink, towel off, whatever you need to do. Okay, while I explain. We've got 3 sets of exercises. Each set of exercises has 3 exercises in it. 2 rounds through those 3 sets of exercises. First round, the formula will be 30 seconds, each 3 exercises, 3 times through. And then we have a 30-second break. We'll go to the next set, 3 times through, 30 seconds, a little break. Do that with the last one. Then you have a little more of a break. We'll go back to that first exercise set and we'll do 60 seconds for the first round and then 30 seconds right after that for the second round. We'll do that for each of the 3 groups of exercises. First group of exercises. Okay, body weight squat, which we already did. You can add a little bit of weight if you'd like to at the chest, okay? If you add weight, that belly has to pull in to protect the low back and the SI joints. Okay, The second exercise is those prone raises, so bird dogs, right? Opposite arm and leg. You can add small weights to your hands if you'd like, okay? And then the third one is not one that we've done in the warm-up, so you might like to try it with me. It's a side plank driver. So I have something underneath my arms because I'm on a hard surface. I'm gonna come down onto my elbow and find a side plank. Option one, keep that bottom knee on the ground. So it's a little kickstand so you can keep your hips up. It takes a little body weight out. So that's option one. Option two, both legs extend, top leg is back, hips stay up, shoulders stay stacked. Free hand reaches 45 degrees. Let that top hip roll down, pull it back up, okay? And for low back stuff, sometimes this bothers my low back, both knees down if you need to, okay? So you can modify and take even more body weight out here, okay? Just make sure wherever you are with your legs, nice long line through the crown of the head, shoulder retracted on that bottom shoulder, and it's a 45-degree drive and back, and we would do that on both sides. Okay, so those are the side plank drivers. That's the third exercise out of the three. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna set up my timer. Give me just a second. If you had any questions, now's a good time to unmute and ask. All right, so three times through these three exercises, starting with body weight squats. You can add weight if you like. There will be no rest between, so transition is important. Okay, starting in 10 seconds. I'm gonna add a little bit of weight to mine. I've got a 20-pound here. Just gonna hold it at my chest, pull the belly in. All right, here we go, squats. Pushing those hips back, belly pulled in, drive through the heels, come up, squeeze the glutes at the top. After this, we have prone raises, bird dog. I'm gonna add little 5-pound weights to my hands. 10 seconds more here. All right, 3, 2, 1. All fours. Remember, we have no extra break, so we want to get right into it. Lift, find that engagement, switch sides. Hips stay parallel to the ground, belly pulls in. Find that back body, that back chain. Alternating here. We have side plank drivers next. So we'll stay on the ground and come into a side plank position right now. 15 seconds either side. We'll find that side plank. I'm gonna have my knee down for this first round. We're gonna switch in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and I just sort of rotate to the other side, set it up, start the drive. And we're back up after this, body weight squats. All right, up off the ground, making those transitions quick, and then finding that squatting pattern. Belly in, drive back with the hips, keep the spine long, drive through the heels to come up. 10 more seconds, and then we have bird dogs or prone raises. All right, here we go. Transitioning now. All fours. Get right into it. Belly pulls in. Keep those hips square. Lift in opposite directions. Finding the entire back chain. 10 seconds, and then we're on side plank. All right, here we go. Transition. Find that side plank. If you've got both legs straight, bottom leg is staggered back. Keep the hips up, but let that top hip roll forward and pull back. Keep that shoulder, that bottom shoulder away from the ear. Switching sides nice and seamlessly. We have one more round through all three of these exercises. Body weight squats are next, or weighted squats. All right, up on your feet, weight or no weight, right into that squat. Last time through for this round, you have 30 seconds of rest after this round, which might turn into a little bit more because we have to preview the next exercises. All right, 6 seconds. Bird dogs, prone raises next. Here we go. Lift and lengthen. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Pull the belly in. Find fluidity through your motion. We're working on stabilizer muscles today. Stabilizer muscles like slow, fluid movement. We're side planking it next. Here we go. Side plank. Set it up. Knee down or both legs straight. Top leg is staggered. Keep that bottom shoulder away from the ear. Switching in 3 seconds. All right, switch sides, nice and seamlessly. Little break after this one. Keep it going. All right, hips come down. You don't have to rush off the ground. You get a little break, grab your drink, and then come to the screen, and I'm gonna go through the next 3 exercises with you. Okay, so this is where some weight comes in handy. Doesn't have to be a lot of weight. We're weighting only one side of our body in a squat, which creates a different demand in our core. I'm gonna use 20 pounds. Certainly does not need to be that heavy. 10 pounds would work. Really, you have to sort of assess that for yourself. Okay, so you're gonna bring the weight up to your shoulder. Okay, so keep it close to your body. You can even let it kind of rest on the shoulder here. Okay, and then you're doing your squat that we've already done. Your range of motion might be different. I like to kind of push my hand out to the side. That feels sort of natural to me. Keep the belly in. Keep the hips in the same plane. So don't let any hip shifting happen. Okay, 15 seconds on one side. Quickly switch. We'll do the other side. Okay. The next one is a kettlebell or a weighted row. The trickiest part about this one is getting into the right position, okay? So you're standing with straight legs, but soft knees, okay? Both hands to the front of your thigh, weight in one hand. You're gonna let those hands drop as you hinge from the hip, just to about the knee, okay? Long spine, belly pulled in, shoulders pulled down the back. One hand is going to row towards the outer rib cage and release. So finding that fluidity, finding that one shoulder blade pulling back towards the spine, using the belly for stabilization as you row up. 15 seconds one side, then you'll switch and go to the other side, maintaining this nice long spine. Try not to get here, right? We don't want to be there, okay? All right. And then the third one is those lateral climbers that I had forgotten in the warm-up. So just as a review, okay, I'm gonna move away from that. There we go. Start in plank. Right knee comes to the left elbow, but it's still between the hands, and then that left leg straightens out. Now it's in either a glide and sort of a hop, keeping your hips low from side to side, shoulders pulled down the back, or it's a step, 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 and a reach. Step, 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 reach. Step, 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 reach, okay? This one will get the heart rate up, so a little bit more quicker movement. You're really working on shoulder stability here and core engagement, okay? Those are the 3 exercises, 30 seconds, 3 times through, and you'll need a weight for this. Okay, starting in 10 seconds. So grabbing whatever weight you're using, bringing it up to the shoulder, pulling in that belly, 3, 2, 1. We have 15 seconds with the weight on this side. So find all the parts to that squat we've already done, but now we've weighted it on one side. which create a different demand on the hips and the core. Switching sides now. Make it quick. Get right back into it. We have a row next. Okay, so one arm row with that bent over position. I'm gonna switch my weight back. Soft knees, bend at the hips, long spine, rowing towards the outer rib cage. So don't rotate the shoulders. Okay, everything stays square. Rowing that weight up, switching sides. Nice fluid movement here. We've got those lateral climbers next. We're gonna get our heart rate up. All right, here we go. Setting yourself up. First time we've done this. Take it slow. Find a rhythm. Use the steps if you need to. Once you find your rhythm and you feel like you might be able to control a little more speed, go for it. Try not to let those hips bop up and down too much. Keep the shoulders down the back. We have the single-sided weighted squat next. 3, 2, 1. Good, hopefully those went okay for you guys. All right, single side squat. Getting right into it. Half of the time goes real quick. Switch sides. Row is next. Keep that belly in, hips are staying square. All right, row is next. Bend from the hips, long spine. Pull that weight up to the rib cage. Belly pulls in. Switch sides. We got those lateral climbers next. 5 seconds here. Find control. All right. Lateral climbers. Side to side, either stepping or gliding. Keep the shoulders plugged down the back. Make sure the belly button is pulling in as you transition from one side to the other. 10 more seconds, and then we have one more round through. 5, 3, 2, 1. All right, last time through each of them. Weighted squat. Keep that belly in. And switch the weight. Doesn't take much to sweat today. Definitely sweating. All right, we got rows next. Hinge from the hips, soft knee, long spine. Pull that weight up to the outer rib cage. Shoulders pulled down the back. We're switching in 3 seconds. And switch. All right, we've got lateral climbers next. And then we're done with these 3 exercises for now. 3, 2, 1. Lateral climbers. Get right in it. Keep those hips low, shoulders down the back. Side to side motion with the feet. Halfway, 15 seconds, you can do it. Try to keep those hips low. I can kind of feel mine bobbing up and down a little bit. 5 seconds. Almost there. Done. All right. Take a little break. Towel off. I clearly need to towel off. Grab your water. And then go ahead and come to the monitor so you can see the next 3 exercises. So this is our last round of 3 exercises. First one is just a lunge. Step forward, vertical drop. Sorry, my timer's still on. Stop. Sorry. Oh boy, technical difficulties. All right, so step forward, vertical drop, long spine, 90 degrees, both knees, step back, switch legs. So you'll find a nice motion here. Keep the hips square. They're not opening up. Intensify with a switch, jump switch. Okay, you're landing in that 90 degree with the legs. That's the first one. Medicine ball bridges, which we did in our warm up. I took the weight, glued it together, and it's a bridge with the arms pulling forward. Okay, the third one is push-ups. Okay, all three of those, 30 seconds, 3 times through. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened here. Okay, let's get going.
I'm doing incline push-ups.
Incline, oh yes, and that's another way, Cheryl, thank you for bringing that up. If you have a chair, push-ups are hard, do incline, okay? So definitely a good modification. All right, here we go. Lunges. 90-90, tailbone down, belly pulled in. Keep those hips square. It's really good for hip mobility and stability, as well as the core. Next one is medicine ball bridges. So we'll be on the ground with our weight if you're using one. All right, here we go. Medicine ball bridges on our back. Remember, you're scooping your hips up and bringing your hands to your hips. Slowly lower in reverse. Scoop hips up, roll spine up, hands to hips. Nice and slow and controlled with both the hips and the hands. We've got push-ups in 6 seconds. You can incline them, use your knees. You can also just hold plank. All right, here we go. Transitioning quick. 30 seconds. Hold the belly in. If you find that your hips are sagging or piking up, that's a clue that maybe the knees or an incline is needed. 8 seconds. Back up on our feet for lunges. All right, back up on our feet. Step lunges. You can go for a switch kick if you're feeling frisky. They pack a punch. All right, halfway. And then we have medicine ball bridges on our back. So this is the start of our second round through these exercises. 3, 2, 1, on our back and bridging. Remember, very mindfully scooping the hips up and then pulling the heels in as we come down. Make sure those heels are pulled in close to the sit bones to start with. Six seconds. We've got push-ups, and that'll conclude our second round. We'll have one more. All right, push-ups. I'm gonna hold plank here for a little bit and be in the middle. Feel free to modify however needed, just keeping that form. Back up on our feet right now. Lunges. I'm gonna step it out this time. Finding control, hips square, belly in. Stretch that tailbone to the ground as you lunge forward. We have the bridges next. This is last time through. 5 seconds. Okay, on our back. Bridges. Scoop those hips up, roll the spine up, and then go back in reverse. Control the weight or the arms coming up overhead. We have push-ups next in 8 seconds.
Are your weights touching in this?
Yeah, I keep them together. I actually kind of grab them with both hands. Yeah.
Okay.
Push-ups. This is our last 30 seconds. You get a little break. $14 more seconds, so we're over halfway. I'm gonna hold plank again in the middle. All right, 6 seconds. All right. Ooh, a little down dog, feels good. All righty. We're done with round 1. We've done all the exercises. Now we have round 2. So let me just explain round 2 before we get started. So round 2, we're using the same groups of exercises, 3 of them, but this time for our formula, we'll go through it once, 60 seconds each. That's longer than we've been doing. And then we'll go right back in 30 seconds each, okay? So it'll be a round of 60 seconds. You can take resets as needed, breaks, modify, just try to move as much as possible in that 60 seconds. And then we'll come back around and do 30 seconds. 30 seconds rest, we'll do that for each set of exercises, okay? All right. I'm gonna find my timer. So, first round of exercises, we've got squat, prone raises, those are the bird dogs, and side plank drivers. First round, 60 seconds for all of them, starting in 10 seconds. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna weight these, see how it feels for 60 seconds. You choose what you wanna do. Here we go, 60 seconds, squats. You can feel free to start with weight and then ditch it once you start getting fatigued. That's a great way to push your limits. Just remember, when you're using weight, belly really needs to be activated, even more so. A little squeeze to the glutes. You come up top. All right, we're halfway, 30 more seconds. So we're gonna go through each exercise 60 seconds. Our next one is prone raises, which are the bird dogs. Keep that quality of movement. We have 10 seconds. Almost there, we've got 5 seconds. Come on, you can do it. All right, transitioning down into bird dogs, prone raises. I'm gonna use some weights on mine. All the same things apply. Feel free to ditch the weight after you get too fatigued to hold form. Okay, find that intentional movement and engagement. Don't forget about what the shoulders are doing. They should be plugged down your back. Don't forget about what that core is doing. Pull that belly in as you lift so that you protect your low back. Every time you lift, belly button pulls in. Good news, we're over halfway. And we have side plank drivers next. We'll be seeing 30 seconds on either side. Ooh, I can feel my shoulders with this weight. 3 seconds. And then setting up for a side plank. All right, here we go. Getting right into it. We only do half and half. Knee is down or both legs up. Top leg is staggered back. 45-degree reach. Letting that top hip roll forward, but keeping the hips up. Shoulder down, that shoulder that's down, pull it down the back. Protect your shoulder here. We're almost halfway. 3 seconds. All right, switch sides. Next round is only 30 seconds each. That'll feel quick. So we'll be up on our feet next for squats. Check in with that bottom shoulder. Couple seconds here. All right, up on your feet. 30 seconds. Keep moving. We're in squats. Seem to be having timer issues today. All right. You're already 20 seconds in. Keep that spine long, belly pulled in. We have bird dogs next in 9 seconds. And then we get a 30-second break. 3, 2, 1. Coming into the all fours. Nice and quick like. Every time we raise, pull that belly up to the spine. Every time you raise, find your glute and your hamstring. Every time you raise, find that shoulder mobility and stability. Long through the neck. Side planks are next. Only 15 seconds on either side. Coming into that now. Here we go. Side plank. Get moving. Five seconds or so. Seamlessly, switch sides. Set it up. Either knee down, top leg staggered, check in with that bottom shoulder. Keep the hips high. All right. Done. Take a break. 30 seconds. So we're going to do that same formula with our kettlebell squat. So 30 seconds with the weight on one side, 30 with it on the other. And then rows, 30-second one side, 30 seconds the other side. And then we have those lateral climbers for a minute. Those are going to pack a punch. So if you need to reset, take a little break, do it. Just make it quick. Okay, challenge yourself. And just remember, listen to your body. Listen to the things it's telling you. If there's pain, modify, do something different, stop, okay? All right, here we go. You've got a heavy weight at shoulder, starting in 10 seconds. And we're doing squats with one-sided weight. All right, here we go. 30 seconds on this side. Feeling it differently, right? Your hip feels different. There's more demand on that right hip. Keep that belly pulled in. There's a different demand on the core as well. 15 seconds. Almost there with this side. All right, quick switch, other side. Get right into it. Waste no time. We have rows next. Remember, it's that bent over position, hinging from the hips with a long spine and rowing that weight up towards the outer rib cage. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rows. Soft knee, bend at the hips, belly pulled in, long spine, rowing that weight up. Remember, your chest is also staying square. There's no rotation happening here. Your core has to kind of brace for anti-rotation. 10 more seconds on this side. If anything, you're rowing that weight towards the hip, lower on the rib cage. So not armpit. Switch sides. Controlling the descend of the weight just as much as the ascend. So controlling eccentrically and concentrically. 15 seconds here. Keep that belly in tight. We got the lateral climbers next. Whew, I'm a sweating mess. All right, switching it up. Need a little bit of space for this one. Remember that side to side gliding or the stepping. There's a couple steps in between, keeping the hips low. So you can always start with the hop and move to the steps. When you fatigue, try to keep those hips low. Hey, we're almost halfway. Good job, guys. We got 30 seconds of each exercise next. Woo! I'm gonna do my little steps here. I can feel my shoulders fatiguing. Check in with your shoulders. Check in with your belly. Pull the shoulders down the back, belly pulled in. We have 12 seconds. I'm gonna try to get back to my hops. Woo! 5 seconds. Come on, you can do it. Dig deep. Ah! All right, up on your feet. Grab your weight. One-sided body weight squats. Sorry, my timer. Keep going. You should have one weight up, squatting it down. You have about 20 seconds here. And switch sides. Still on squats. Rows are next. Twelve seconds. I think my entire shirt is wet. 5 seconds. Make sure you got water. You're drinking water throughout. Rows are next. All right, find that bent over position. Long spine, belly in. Rowing back towards the hip and lower rib cage. Controlling the weight up and down. 10 seconds here. And switch. You might find one side is easier than the other. That's pretty normal. Stabilizing through the core and hips. 13 seconds. And then we have lateral climbers. 30 seconds only of the lateral climbers. All right, drop the weight. Get those lateral climbers going. Remember, you can step in between. Keep the hips low, shoulders down the back. 10 seconds. Almost there. Woo. Done. Catch your breath. We only have one more round next. Last 3 exercises. I'll do better on my timing this time.
Holy cardio. That was good cardio.
Yeah, the lateral climbers. Those pack a punch. Oh, look at me. All right. Were those okay for you, Cheryl, with your wrists?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I just modified.
Okay, good. All right. So now we have last 3 exercises, last round before our mobility. Lunges, right? That vertical drop, 90 degree, stepping back, switching sides. There's one. You've got the medicine ball bridges. And then we have push-ups. First round is 60 seconds. Second round is 30 seconds. We are starting in 10 seconds. Okay, so we've got our lunges. Feel free to add weight to your chest here or quicken the pace. Here we go. This is 60 seconds. So you can also feel free to, use the weight when you get fatigued and you lose your form, ditch the weight. Same with speeding it up into those scissor kicks. You can do that and then slow it down. We're almost halfway. 3, Oh no, sorry, we've got one more 30 seconds. Now we're halfway. I changed up my timer because the last round it didn't work. All right, 20 seconds. If you feel you got a little extra, start those scissor kicks or add some weight. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck. You showed up today. 10 seconds. You're doing the work right here. We're on our back next for medicine ball bridges. Here we go, transitioning to the back. Weight or no weight. Being mindful, scooping up the hips all the way up and then reversing with control. Plenty of time to really dial this movement in with a whole minute of work. As your hips come down, pull your heels in a little bit towards your body. That'll help keep that nice compact print. All right, we're halfway. Getting that full glute squeeze at the top. Making sure you're using that scooping of the hips and the rolling up of the spine, and then doing it in reverse to come down. 15 more seconds. We have push-ups. Whew, whole minute of push-ups. All right, I'll wrap my head around that now. 5 seconds. All righty, flipping over, finding plank, inclining if you'd like to, using your knees if you need to. I can tell I have not done push-ups in a while. Almost halfway. That was halfway. Remember, if you need to take a reset or just stop and plank for a moment, make it quick. All right, 15 seconds. Oh man. We're back up on our feet. Lunges for 30 seconds. We've got 5 seconds here, you can do it. Oh man, I'm digging deep. 3, 2, all right. On your feet, 30 seconds, lunges. This is our last little bit of work here, 30 seconds of each of those exercises, and then we have a little mobility at the end. Almost there. 6 seconds. All right, bridges, 30 seconds. Get going. Scooping those hips up, being very mindful in your movement. Push-ups are next, 30 seconds, and then we're done. 2 seconds. All right, transition to push-ups. 30 seconds here. $15 seconds. $5 seconds. And done. Take a little minute. No hurry off the ground. Catch your breath. Get a drink. And then just a short mobility section here at the end, just to kind of, you know, get your muscles ready to walk out the door and go about your day. Cool down. Okay. Clear your space if you've got some weights or whatever. You might want your mat handy, but you don't need it to start with. Okay, hip openers. This is a standing hip opening exercise. All right, so standing nice and tall, finding that stacking of the ears, shoulders, and hips. You're gonna bring one leg up, open it up like you're making a circle, and then step back. Okay, and if you don't have a line to travel, then step forward again and do the other side. So stand tall, lift the knee, open the hip, step back, lift up. So it's kind of a backward motion if you've got a line of travel. Around, step back. And I'm running out of room. Do maybe 3 or 4 more on each leg. So you're lifting that knee up, opening the hip, and stepping back. And keep that knee nice and high as you rotate it back. I'm gonna do one more length here. Next one is gonna be on all fours. So, all right, so make sure you're equal on either side with those hip openers. You're gonna be in all 4 position. I'm gonna put the mat under my knees. And making sure my hands are underneath my shoulders, knees are underneath my hips. And then we're just gonna do some circles. So shifting our weight to the left, out in front of us, to the left. And you can let your hips kind of swing too, and then back, so the hips come back. So feeling the weight shift around your wrists, you know, keeping your shoulders pulled back, but really more just finding the range of motion in wrists and hips. Let's do one more this direction. And then switch directions. And as you come forward over the hands, really grip with the fingertips as well as the hand. That takes some of the pressure out of the wrist, which I know is a common complaint when putting weight like this onto your wrists. Let's do one more circle. All the way around. Good. Okay, now let's bring your right leg forward so that you can get into a half kneeling position, okay? I want your front foot right under your front knee, okay? And if you're unbalanced at all, just make sure you have a little bit of space between the back knee and the front foot. Stretch that tailbone down, almost scooping it forward, so underneath you. Pull the belly in so you can be nice and upright through the spine. Take your left hand, inhale it up as you shift your weight forward. And then back down. So we're going after the front of that left leg. Keep your hips square. So don't open up your hips. You should feel a stretch, especially as you push those hips forward and reach the arm up. You should feel that stretch across the front of the hip. Keep the belly pulled in, so we don't want to do this. You don't want to arch in the low back. You want to push the hips forward. Just keep that belly in a little bit. Let's do 3 more on this side. So one more here. And then switching sides. So if you need to come down to all 4s, however it works for you, swinging the other foot forward. Setting yourself up so that front foot is underneath the front knee. Give yourself a little width between front foot and back knee. Okay, left hip pulls in, right hip pushes forward, so we have a square hip. Tailbone stretches down, but maybe even tucks under a little bit. Belly pulls in. Right hand sweeps up as you shift your hips forward. And then back. So as you shift your weight forward, keep your hips square. And use your breath. Try not to overarch in the low back, so keep that low belly in. Let's do 3 more on this side. And then our last one we did in the warm-up, which is the windscreen wipers, where we're on our back and we're just rolling our hips from side to side. Last one here. So coming all the way down onto the ground, laying down onto our back, opening our arms up to a T, palms up, stretch our legs out, and then 1 foot at a time comes across the body and reaches towards the opposite hand. Doesn't need to reach. It also doesn't need to be straight. It's really more about just getting the stretch in the hips and even that low back. This feels really good on my low back. So keeping both shoulders anchored, moving from side to side. This is our last mobility exercise. So we're almost done. Hopefully you've got your breath back a little bit. You're able to cool down a little bit. Let's do one more either side. There we go. Coming up off the ground at your own pace. And unmuting yourself. I don't know where that unmuting all button went. I'm sure